All right, welcome back to Mr. Music's YouTube page. Again, please support the page, subscribe, because with your support, I'm going to be able to be adding additional grade levels besides just fourth grade. But again, I'm going to need the support, obviously, to justify the time that it takes to create the videos. So any support you can give, I would appreciate. You can click the support this page on my the home screen of my YouTube page, or simply by clicking on some of the ads that can also help support the page. But anyways, let's continue on. This is 10.1. So chapter 10, lesson 1, and this is homework P172. So now we're on the back side. Okay, let's get started. The hands of the clock show the time 12:25. What kind of angle exists between the hands of the clock? So, between the hands of the clock would be this angle here. And we can see pretty easily that that's going to be bigger than 90 degrees. So that would be an obtuse angle. Remember, acute angles are less than 90 degrees. A right angle is exactly 90 degrees. Oh, whoops, right angle. And an obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees. All right, use letters and symbols to name the figure shown below. So this would be like the picture, right? We compared it to the yearbook. You know, you have your picture, and then below your picture you would have your name. Same thing with rays or line segments or lines. The picture and the name look slightly different. Okay, so here's the picture. We want to give it its name. Well, it starts at point A. I know it starts there because there's no arrows going out to the left behind A. So it starts at A, and it goes through B. And notice I just put A and B right next to each other. And then above it, I'm going to show that it's a ray. I know it's a ray because, again, it starts here at A and goes through B in one direction on forever. Okay, so A, B, and then I draw a little ray that basically starts where the A starts and ends where the B ends. So that's how we would write ray AB. All right, going down to the spiral review. Jan's pencil is 8.5 centimeters long. Ted's pencil is longer. Write a decimal that could represent the length of Ted's pencil. So Jan's pencil is 8.5, and Ted's pencil has to be bigger than that. So I can put any length I want for Ted as long as it's bigger than 8.5. So I'm just going to say 9. 9 is bigger than 8.5. Says write a decimal. Well, I can make 9 into a decimal, 9.0. Or I could do 9.1 or 9.3. But 9.0 works. It's a decimal and it's bigger than 8.5. So that would work. Again, lots of possible correct answers for this one though. Number 4, Kayla buys a shirt for $8.19. She pays with a $10 bill. How much change should she receive? So she has $10 to start with. She spends, if she's spending it, she's going to be, or paying it, we're going to be subtracting it. And again, I want to line this up. I have a 1 in the tens place, 0 in the ones place. If I have money, the decimal would go behind the 10. I have no tenths, or no dimes, you would say, and nothing in the hundredths place. Now I can line this up, 8 in the ones place, then my decimal, keep my decimals lined up, and 19 cents is how much the shirt cost. Now we can subtract. I can't take 9 away from 0. Nothing to borrow here, nothing to borrow here. I have to go all the way out here to this 1. So the 1 becomes a 0, and this becomes a 10. And then I have to borrow from that 10. The 10 becomes a 9. Share the 1 here. That 10 becomes a 9. And then I share the 1 here. So now I finally have gotten it all the way down to the hundredths place. So 10 hundredths minus 9 hundredths would be 1 hundredths. 9 tenths minus 1 tenth would be 8 tenths. Decimal comes straight down. 9 ones minus 8 ones would be 1. So how much change should she receive? $1.81. All right, Sasha donated 9 hundredths of her class's entire can collection for the food drive. What decimal is equivalent to 9 hundredths? Well, when you say it out, it tells you what it is, 9 in the hundredths place. So you have to remember that place value. 0, I have nothing in front, no ones. And I have my decimal. How many tenths do I have? Well, I don't have anything in front of the 9, so I have 0 tenths. And then I have 9 hundredths. So again, the ones place, tenths place, hundredths place, and I have 9 hundredths. All right, number 6, Jose jumped 8 1/3 foot. This was 2 2/3 foot farther than Lila jumped. How far did Lila jump? So, first of all, let's pull those names out, Jose and Lila. And let's remember, we want to do some common sense. Jose jumped 8 1/3. This was 2 2/3 further than Lila. So who's going to jump further? Without doing any math, who jumped further? This was 2 2/3 further than Lila. So Jose's number has to be bigger, okay? So when I figure out what Lila jumped, I'm going to check for reasonableness by seeing if it is in fact less than Jose. And I know how far Jose jumped because it says right here, Jose jumped 8 1/3 foot. So I know my answer has to be less than 8 1/3. So that helps me when I'm looking at the two numbers that they did give me, 8 1/3 and 2 2/3, to figure out what kind of computation I need to do. If I need to get a smaller number, I'm most likely going to need to subtract. So we have 8 1/3 minus 2 2/3. Okay. I can't take 2/3 away from, well, one nice thing, first of all, is they both have the same denominator, so that's good. But I can't take 2 away from 1, so I am going to have to borrow from this 8 to make it a 7. So the 1 that I borrowed, though, I want to write that 1. So I borrowed 1 whole. I want to write it as a fraction, though, with a denominator of 3, because I want to put it as a fraction. So 1 whole would be 3/3. That's what I borrowed. I borrowed 3/3. I already had 1/3. So 1/3 plus the 3/3 would be 4/3. Okay. So 4/3 minus 2/3 is 2/3. And then 7 minus 2 is 5. And so how far did Lila jump? 5 2/3 feet. There's my answer. All right, thanks again for watching. I'll see you on the next video.